They say the Erdtree does not call the worthy. It calls the desperate, the broken, the forgotten. You were nothing, a tarnished, stripped of grace, cast out beyond the fog, left to wander the lands between the living and the dead. And yet, the grace found you again, a golden thread, thin as a whisper, pulling you back from the dark. You woke in a crypt, cold stone beneath your fingers, the smell of age and rot and silence. No name, no memory of glory, only the embers of something that refused to die. This is where it begins, not with triumph, not with prophecy, with a body rising from the dirt and a single stubborn will to move forward. The world that greeted you was vast, merciless, beautiful. Limgrave stretched out before you like a wound that refused to heal. Golden light cutting through storm clouds, ancient ruins swallowed by moss and time, and above it all, the Erdtree. Impossibly tall, impossibly bright, a burning beacon at the center of everything. You did not know its name yet. You only knew that it called to you, that something deep and wordless in your chest recognized it, like a memory from a life you could not remember living. The lands between were not empty. They were filled with the mad, the monstrous, and the merely lost. Knights who had forgotten their oaths, soldiers hollowed out by despair, creatures born from the cracks of a shattered age. They would all try to stop you. None of them succeeded. The road forward was never a single path. It was a labyrinth. You crossed fog-choked marshes where the dead walked upright and ancient sorceries still crackled in the air. You climbed the broken battlements of castles whose names had been forgotten for 1,000 years. You descended into caves lit only by the bioluminescent glow of things that should not exist. You faced demigods, once children of a golden age, now broken and twisted by their hunger for the shards of a shattered god. Each one a titan, each one a wall between you and your destiny. You bled. You fell. You rose again and again and again. Every death was a lesson, every defeat a map. The lands between broke lesser wills completely, but yours it only sharpened. And then something changed. It was not a single moment, it was an accumulation, a slow alchemy wrought from suffering and perseverance. You had gathered the great runes, torn from the hands of those who wore them like crowns. You had walked into the fire and come out the other side. The armor that once weighed you down now felt like a second skin. The sword in your hand no longer trembled. You moved through battle with a terrible, calm certainty. The certainty of someone who has already seen the worst the world can offer and chosen deliberately to keep walking. You were no longer a nameless corpse dragged back from oblivion. You were a force, a will made manifest. A tarnished who had earned, through every scar and every fallen enemy, the right to stand before the Elden Ring itself. And so it ends, as all great stories do, not with a clean triumph, but with ash. The Elden Ring is remade. The age of the Erdtree is gone. The world that was built on the bones of an old order has been broken open, and from its embers, something new will grow. What that is, no one yet knows. You sit upon the throne not as a conqueror drunk on glory, but as someone who has carried the weight of an entire world and chosen, at the end, to bear it still. The halls are burning. The light is amber and dying. Ash falls like snow, and you remain. This is what it means to become an Elden Lord. Not to be chosen, not to be born to greatness, but to survive everything the world throws at you, to refuse to be erased, and to rise, scarred, weary, and utterly unbreakable, from the ruins of what came before. The Tarnished, from a nameless corpse in the dark to the Lord of a new age.